Hello everybody, how's it going? Hi, welcome back to some more Senran Kagura. First, let's go ahead and just slam that A button if it works. We're continuing on with essentially the last final little stretch here of Senran Kagura Burst. We only got a couple of levels to go through before we finish the story. Right now, our level for our characters is level 14, 13, 14, 19, and 15. Considering where we are in the story right now, that's low. That's very, very low. Ironically, Mirai is like the strongest right now. And for a time, Hibari was also the strongest in the Hanzo team. But because, you know, because of the doji and the final battle and stuff, we had to do a little bit of grinding. We did some side missions with all the other characters. And so, you know, Katsuragi, Kariga, you know, the trio, the monster trio, I guess, ended up surpassing Hibari. But if it weren't for all the grinding that we did, Hibari would still be like the highest level character in the Hanzo team. And right now, again, because we haven't really done a whole lot in terms of side missions and stuff, we have Mirai as the strongest character. Because, you know, a lot of the, most of the story kind of focuses on her. So we get a lot of opportunities to use her as a fighter. But, I think that's very quickly going to change with Homura, because she's going to be doing most of the legwork for the last mission. Which I think is just like a series of boss battles against everybody. I think is, yeah, Yomi, Kagemura, Haruka, and I don't know, there's something else at the end. I don't know if you fight Orochi at the end, I forget. Don't spoil it for me, please. But, yeah, we can't go back to the ninja room at all because of reasons. So, yeah, technically the school has been taken over by Hanzo, and we're there to take the school back. And so, we don't have access to our main hub, which means that we can't go to do any side missions, we can't go customize our outfits or anything. Actually, we are able to go into the dressing room, the library, the settings, but we're not able to do side missions. It's pretty much the only thing that we can't do. But other than that, yeah, you know, we can technically come to this main menu and change stuff. But, yeah, the important part was the grindy part. And, yeah, we can't really do that right now. And we can't, you know, go to the ninja room and listen to all the characters commentate, because there's nothing like that at this point into the story. So, I remember, the game saving in between every fight. Yeah. So it saves in between every fight, which is good. So, like, that wouldn't have to redo everything all over from the beginning. That's really good. So in the last episode, the stream decided to just crap out, seemingly out of nowhere. I don't know why. The internet on all of my computers and my devices and everything were working perfectly. Everything was going super fast and great. But with OBS specifically, I'm at 6,000 kilobytes per second right now when it comes to bitrate, sending out video to you guys. And then from 1 second to the other, zero. Just boop. Just nothing. And it was trying to reconnect, you know, but the signal was like 100 kilobytes, 200, 200, then 500, then 100, then 500 again, then 0, and then 400, and then 0 again. It was just really inconsistent, and it just wasn't giving me what I needed. And so I ended up just cutting the stream right there. I said we just finished fighting against Yagyu as Mirai, and the dialogue really wasn't all that interesting. You know, because that's just inherently just a really bad pair, because Yagyu is such an awful character that it's very difficult to get anything interesting out of her, because she's so like bland and just stone-faced and just doesn't like talking to people. So there's rarely any like good banter or interactions that you can have with anybody, you know? Mirai and Yagyu are a bad pair, but I think anybody paired up with anyone, you know, anybody paired up with Yagyu would be a bad combo. The closest that I can think of is Haruka and Yagyu, because they both have the Hibari obsession, and so maybe they can relate and be more interesting characters because of that, or at least funnier characters. But no, Yagyu's paired up with Mirai, and so it ends up being a really boring kind of fight there by the end of it. By the end of when we win, it's like, oh, you know, I'm gonna let you go, Yagyu, even though Yagyu is very hardcore, but the Shinobi thing, she's like, no, kill me, the typical thing, right? Kill me, just finish me off right now, Our player character obviously doesn't do it and says, oh, I'll let you go now. You let me go before, so we'll call it even. All right, cool. And then insisting on the same thing as before. We both have people that we care about, so hey, you know, we're not that different. So, which could apply to everybody, right? That's not special to them, but hey. And so that's basically all that you missed. And if you've seen the burst renewal playthrough, then you've missed even less, right? And so now we're moving on to the next fight. So if you guys were wondering when the stream cut off yesterday, did I miss anything? No. It literally, the fight just ended, and I moved on to this, to the next fight. And that's it. That's when the internet connection just like completely crapped out, or OBS crapped out, or whatever. My connection to the restream service or whatever just disappeared. And so that's the long and short of it. And now we're back here. So there we go. There's the backstory, and now we can hopefully continue. We got people on the stream right here. Brandon, Crimson D, Grim. Cool. My viewer count is showing me nothing. It's showing me 0, which doesn't make any sense. But that's the restream chat for you. Sometimes it just likes to not show stuff for some reason. I am on Twitch as well, for anybody that wants to bump into this live stream. That sounds annoyingly unstable. Oh, you don't even know the beginning of it. You don't even know the beginning of it. If you ever want to get into live streaming, get ready to lose half of your hair, because you're going to be tearing it out of your own scalp, just stressed out over like everything that goes wrong. And there's never a day where, you know, everything is right. There's always like that one thing. Something always breaks. But anyway. Haruka. Haruka. Do you think there will ever be a time, Haruka, where live streaming is easy? It really makes you wonder how people are able to do this as a living every single day. With so many technical problems. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Does she? There we go. Nah. Some hidden desire you had of joining Hebijo? Okay, with everybody, just in general, not with her specifically. That's bullshit. That's no. That is just the writers manipulating it to be like, yeah, no, this is their pairing, so everything has to be specific to them. Now here, like in this storyline, it doesn't, like, not even in the Hanzo story, it doesn't make any sense, because like, you know, Haruka just kept coming on to Hibari and manipulating the situation so that she would end up with her. You know, like Hibari never showed any interest. And then here's like, oh no, I secretly did want to be friends with you specifically. Like, why? Literally, why? You don't know anything about her. You never had a conversation with each other. Even in like the hot springs, that was never a thing. And when you did talk was when you were under mind control or whatever. Just like, this is just so like contrived and stupid. You said you'd kill me. That really turned me on. I wanted you to say that to me again. Hibari's such a fucking weirdo in this story. In this like Hebijo timeline. I don't get her. She's weird when she's mind controlled, and she's even weirder when she's not mind controlled. Have these two characters barely spoke? I mean, yeah, kinda, yes and no. Because she was mind controlled the entire time, right? So, and she barely remembers any of it. You know? This is like the only thing that Hibari knows about Haruka technically is just the time that they saw each other in the hot springs. But there was no indication of them ever like talking to each other or liking each other or anything. And the next time that they talk after that is when she's already under mind control. So like, yeah, I don't know where she gets the whole, it made me happy when you said you wanted to kill me. That means you must care about me, right? You treat me as an equal. I wanted to talk with you specifically. It's like fan fiction. It's like... Yeah, no, this is just to like validate Haruka's love for Hibari, right? It can't be a thing of like, oh no, you know, all of that was fake and I was just being delusional about wanting to be with Hibari or whatever. It was, none of it was real. I feel like accepting that would have been a lot more interesting than to be like, oh no, even without the mind control, I still liked you. It's like, well, what was the point of the mind control then? And now she's just saying that because she knows she likes to hear that. Nah. I don't know. A lot of these parts are not as good as I remember them. Alright, so are we gonna continue the frantic winning streak that we had before? This should be the last fight before we go back to Homura. And we have to fight Asuka a second time. Does she not have a swimsuit? For this story or both? What do you mean both? Like that particular dialogue segment was just stupid. Though the whole thing, the whole like Hibari being mind control thing is just kind of stupid. It didn't really go anywhere other than just finding a different way of getting the super secret ninja art scroll. Although like the original Hanzo story was perfectly fine. You know, like, and it made more sense because there's a bunch of evil shinobi that want the scroll, right? So what better way to be an evil shinobi than to manipulate and to fool people into bringing that to you? And then in Hibari's like shame, she's like, no, I'll join you guys because I know they won't accept me back if I say that I just gave you guys the scroll. And so then Haruka takes advantage of the situation and dotes on her, and then they become friends. Like, it's just so weird. Yeah, like, I don't think that the story had to be changed so much in this Hebijo story, first of all. And second of all, what they do change is so weird and stupid. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, if they're gonna change stuff, like, I would rather have them take it into, like, interesting directions, right? Or just go crazy with it. Do, like, a what-if scenario. Do, like, an alternate universe where, like, you know, characters do die or something. I don't know. Or, you know, maybe they're not all friends by the end of it. It's just this weird thing where, like, they take it into different directions, but it all just ends up in the same destination. You know, they're all friends by the end. You know, and the same questions are asked, and it just kind of reaches the same conclusion, so why do you have to alter the product? No, why do you have to alter the factors when the product is the same? I mean, I guess it creates, like, more like, other funny scenarios and stuff, but also, like, which one is canon? Which one should I care about more? Which character in whatever timeline is the real character? Because to me, Hibari in this whole timeline is, like, not Hibari. It's, like, a totally different character. They, like, rewrote her to be an entirely different person. And it's just weird. And, like, just the reasoning for why the characters like each other is so, like, flimsy. Like, the Yomi and Ikaruga one is, like, the best one. But, like, yeah, everything that has to do with, like Hibari Hikage is, like, so fanfiction-y. Like, the writers just said that this is how they feel, so this is just how they feel, right? They know that they have to be friends by the end of it, so, like, it doesn't matter what conditions they are. They gotta be like, oh, but I was somehow happy that this happened. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's just odd. It's just really contrived, like, shoehorning a bunch of stuff into it without any proper transitions. Alright, I don't know what this is, but there's like a weird force field. That was the heavy ninja art. That was weird. The invert color jutsu. Do I have an aerial? Oh yeah, throw in the chemicals. Oh, there we go. It does a decent amount of damage. It's not the worst. I am frantic though, so I need to be careful. There we go. HP recovery. And I have another one over there, and I just leveled up. You're locked to your tension outfit? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, if I had my flash outfit, it would have... Uh-oh. Come on. Come on. There we go. Oh, and she's kind of dancing a little bit. And that's it. Just like that, you're dead. Alright. We're done with this. Let's not see Hibari ever again. There's so much of her in this story, and it doesn't help that every single time I do a gacha pull in New Link, I see her like 8 times. People say Yumi's the main character. Sometimes I feel like Hibari's the main character. She's fucking everywhere. And I'm getting sick of hearing her little high-pitched pink voice where she's useless, but also like the most important character. Reminds me of Luigi's old Final Smash from Brawl, kinda. I'm sick of seeing her. You're ready to die. Bonk. Plot armor jutsu activate. How symbolic and cool. My attachment, my affection for you? That's not true. Look at all the other sequels, you haven't changed a bit. Is this her, like, trying to be better than her parents? Saying, like, learning to let go and not obsess over her? Like how her parents obsessed over her when she was a kid? No! Well, so much for that. Bye. Well, no transition to that, just, okay, you're red now, and you're done. Okay, we're done. Okay, so this is like the last, like, 2 levels, right? They're all gone, what about you? Why aren't you red? I desperately called their names, but to no avail. No matter how many times I yell, is no use. My friends have faded away like fog and sunlight, which doesn't make sense because it's nighttime. I run around the entire castle, but there's no sign of them. They could have said they faded away like fog in the moonlight or something, but I don't know why. Sunlight. Around the entire castle, but there's no sign of them. Where the hell did they go? Dorsta. 2 more plus Rin. Yeah, I know. Rin, the Rin part goes without saying. I'm talking this story. The investor Dogen appears out of nowhere. He must have been hiding in the castle. Why would he be hiding? When I tell him about my friend's disappearance, his lips thin into a smile. A lot of thinning lips in this story. A lot of the descriptions for smiling is always that their lips are thinning with a smile. Their thin lips are a smile. Their lips make a thin smile. A lot of thin lip smiles here. It's time. I draw my sword and level it at Dogen. But he doesn't even flinch. I always knew he was more than just your average businessman. Oh, how convenient for you to say that now. Let me tell you in a wall of text who the actual bad guy is. Because the bad guys, supposedly the bad guy school are not the bad guys, so who is the bad guy, right? If it's not the bad guy school and not the good guy school, so who is it? Might as well pull another, like, you know, other, like, actual real villainy villain out of our ass so that we can have somebody to fight at the end. I suppose I'll fill you in. And I know that he shows up in the Hanzo story too, but we don't fight him or confront him or anything. He just kind of shows up and then leaves immediately. He produces a rolled scroll from his breast pocket. He unfurls the scroll, revealing a drawing of a very sinister-looking monster. Its name is Orochi. It's evidently been nesting in this castle since the 1500s, so thousands of years ago. There was the legend. Revive Orochi and make it mine. I'm going to make Orochi my Valentine this year. Gonna make him mine. And that, Dogen vanishes into thin air, okay. I turn around to find him behind me. If you didn't know, I'm also a shinobi. By the way, I don't know why I hate that line so much. It's like it wasn't obvious already, like... He ignores my look of surprise and opens the scroll farther. Okay, we need 4 hot anime girls and use their Dragon Ball anime power energy to revive Big Monster. This is like the storyline to like a fighting game, like Tekken or something, or King of Fighters. The evil demonic ritual, it has been completed, and now, oh, by the way, yeah, Orochi is also a thing. The Orochi saga in King of Fighters, so it's very similar here as well. You know, in those games. So again, like, ooh, the evil underground thing will summon Big Monster. That both good guy and bad guy have to get together to fight together, and then everything is good at the end. His lips curl menacingly. Exceptional shinobi, uh-huh. But does that mean the Homura is not an exceptional shinobi? She wasn't taken. I hear this last bit and reel in horror. The flesh of girls who are exceptional shinobi. No, it can't be. Did he use my friends to revive Orochi? For just a big epic monster? His eyes widen at my words. To obtain the ultimate power. Yeah, but I still wanted to be a hot anime girl still. I didn't want to, like, you know, be fused with some awful, weird monster hunter boss. That's what being a shinobi is all about. You've got to be... Oh, shit! I accidentally skipped a bunch of stuff. You've got to be kidding. Fuzukenna, no one becomes a shinobi to be part of a monster. My heart sounds a violent drumbeat in my chest. The sword in my hand trembles. Dogen speaks proudly of how he hypnotized Hibari and manipulated her into directly helping him revive Orochi. I guess this entire affair with the scrolls went exactly as he hoped it would. Oh, he was the evil mastermind all this time. Ooh, but at this point I don't care what his reasons are. I can barely hear him anymore. I'm so furious my blood is pounding in my ears. He won't get away with this. Hebijo, executive investor or not, he has to pay. Come, the revival of Orochi draws near. I believe I need only one more sacrifice. Fight, Homura. Fight and become the flesh and blood of Orochi. Do that and you'll be the strongest, just as you've always wanted. He begins laughing, loud and uproariously. And I brandish my sword. I'll pass. A gout of blood flies upward. Dogen splits in two and rolls like logs near my feet. Whatever happened to him saying that he was also a shinobi? Instead of fighting Asuka a second time, wouldn't it be cool to fight him instead? And then kill him? Also, like, we, like, beat the shit out of so many characters and like, annihilate so many different NPCs. But, like, with this guy, who's, like, the big investor, the evil mastermind behind everything, literally, like, the Darth Sidious of this game. You'd think it'd be, like, some sort of boss battle, right? But no, just, dead. That's it. Literally just, like, Undertale, just attack, choo! Genocide run attack, kill him in one hit. So fucking disappointing. You couldn't make a boss battle, you couldn't just made, like, a generic, you couldn't have taken one of the enemies and just, like, reskinned it to look like Dogen? And then just fight him? You know, like, was it too much to make a male character? Was that the logic behind it? Is like a waifu fan service game, so like, you can't make like a guy character that you can fight against? Like was that the logic that like, only girls allowed? I've killed someone very important to Hebijo. However legitimate my reasons might be, it's still a serious crime. The only crime here is how the guy let himself get killed in one hit. But I can't turn back now. I have no regrets. This is what I had to do. I had to keep Orochi from being revived. No, well, so much for that. I suddenly feel an intense aura. I look up at the castle keep. There's a hazy silhouette of someone up there. Asuka's waiting for me atop the keep. To settle things for good. For good, for realsies. Actual for realsies this time, actually. But whichever of us wins, it may still lead to Orochi being revived. Well, you might want to lose this fight, so she has to fight Orochi and not you. What do I do? If I explain the situation to Asuka, could we call a ceasefire? I don't know. Now she seems really fired up. I don't know if she'll listen. At the sound of her voice, my whole body trembles. Her voice is so intense it could shake the earth. I sense her fighting spirit has grown. It's like she's a completely different person. What could she have done to grow this strong in such a short amount of time? Probably that big scroll that gives you a lot of power. Maybe that. But this is too dangerous. The body can't take such a huge power surge. I have a bad feeling about this, but I proceed to the castle keep nonetheless. The story's weird. Alright. What have you done? Don't tell me that you put on the special green perfume on you. Oh, I can see your stench from here. I can't just smell it, I can see it. Mm-hmm. What is all of this for? What are you all fighting for? I am now a Super Saiyan Shinobi. Or legendary Super Saiyan, like Broly, that has the green aura, because I guess that makes it different. Oh my. I thought you were cool. I love Homura's expression throughout this whole thing, like, you're being cringe, bro. Stop. I don't like sappy stuff like this. God, here's where, like, the Hebijo story kind of falls apart for me, when they actually try to be serious, and everybody just says what they're feeling, you know? When it's like, you know, let me just be very blunt and upfront with the relationship that we're supposed to have here, as opposed to kind of just making the dialogue more elegant, or, like, you know, just making it better than just saying, this is what I am feeling, these are my thoughts right now. This is the relationship that we have right now. And of course, the big excuse for why you don't just tell her, hey, there's a big monster that's gonna kill all of us. She's like, well, I mean, you just seem really into it. I don't want to be a jerk and say that we don't want to fight. Not after all of that. So, you know. So yeah, let's waste our time and just let this monster be revived. Let's because you just wanted to have the fight. You were just too horny and you wanted to have the fight now. You're my strongest friend, this person that I've only had like 2 conversations with. I barely know you, but yes, this is more important than all of my friends being absorbed by a big monster. My microphone is all weird. You see that this is a really like a really loose kind of shirt. There's no tightness to the shirt at all, so it's like my microphone is like wobbling all over the place. Hold on. Come on. There we go. Yeah, the microphone was like... Yeah, the microphone was like pointing over there and not over here. It's like, it was like leaning some other direction. I don't feel the tension here as much as I did the Hanzo story. I think the Hanzo story pulls all of this off better than this. Here it feels like it had to happen because the other story had it, so they just repeated the same things. Alright. We're seeing the transformation in slow motion, but better than it not animating. Crimson Homura, here we go. I thought both were fine. I think this one is kind of worse. I mean, the ending of the 4th chapter and this entire 5th chapter is just kind of lame. Like, I kind of like the Hanzo story a little better. They handle it better. Alright, the final battle. Let's go. I think it would be a lot better if it was all just one linear story where you could see both sides instead of yeah, the thing that really fucks it up is that it's a totally different timeline. Like the Hanzo story doesn't exist here. It's just a wholly different thing. It's not even like, oh, seeing things from a different perspective. It's a completely like different like rewrite of not just the characters but like what happens in the story, and it just kind of bites. I just like it. I like the character interactions a lot from like chapter 1, 2, and 3, and some parts of chapter 4 I like from the Hebijo story, but overall, the Hanzo story to me feels more like the canon story, like what's actually supposed to happen, and Hebijo feels like this weird like alternate thing that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But it's weird, right? Because there's some things that do carry over, like Dogen being killed by Homura. That's consistent throughout the other games. But not other stuff, like, yeah, it's weird. Crimson Homura is sort of a separate character, yeah. The character interactions I still say is the best part of the story for the Hebijo story. Yeah, I'd say like just seeing the Hebijo girls just hang out and talk to each other and just being funny. That's what they have always been good at. They've been good at being clowns in a good way. And I don't mean clown in the Murasame way. I mean like genuinely funny. Genuinely feeling like it's a group of friends that enjoy being around each other. And that are just funny to be around. I really do get that sense, but when they actually try to build like a serious story and try to like, you know, I feel like a lot of the Hibari and Haruka stuff doesn't work as well as they could. I can kind of understand, like, you know, in terms of Haruka's backstory, they're trying to show that she is no different from her parents. And by that, with that final battle, she's saying, well, I'm cutting off my attachment to you to say, like, you know, I don't want to be like the people that I hate, so I'm gonna let you go. But, like, that doesn't really change in future games. She still dotes on her and wants to be with her all the time, so, like where'd all that go? They kind of, like, backpedaled on that. And then, like, Yagyu with Mirai, like, that combo is so, like, useless. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't do anything. Like, the interaction with Yagyu and Homura during the hot springs thing was, like, more interesting. There's just a lot of stuff in here that just doesn't work or feels like a waste of time than anything else that happens in the Hanzo story or in any of the future games. God damn, this attack. Oh my god. Holy shit, that was good. And then, like, you know, they have all of that, and towards the end, they kind of have to, like, shoehorn, like, the final confrontation here. Like, it just feels a little forced towards the end. Yeah, and, like, the backstories are cool and stuff, but, like... Oh god, what are you gonna do? Shit. Holy hell, that Nimpo. Yeah, that was earth-shattering, wasn't it? I wish I could do it again, but I kind of wasted it. The weak ninja art kind of didn't do anything. And of course, this little outro is always cool. Alright, but we're not done yet. We gotta, like, fight. We gotta do, like, a little boss rush after this. That's why SK2 is praised for its story. I like the story in 2, although it doesn't feel like it matters. It feels like if it weren't for Kagura and Naruto, it would just feel so, like, separate from everything else. I said this before, it kind of feels like a non-canon movie for Senran Kagura as opposed to something that, like, fits in the timeline. But it is cool. Kagura's backstory and like all of the expanded lore with Shinobi headquarters and stuff is kind of what makes that story. But a lot of the character interactions in Deep Crimson are kind of like not as cool as it could have been because it's a lot of just retreading what we had before. Like literally the entire first chapter is just redoing the ending to Burst again, right? And so they're kind of like establishing, look at like what's like that canon, like what's what really happened, right? Out of the two storylines. And then they redesigned Dogen and they have all of these other bosses and yeah, it's confusing, but it's a lot of retreading old ground. Great, so because Asuka, because you were so keen on having this battle, well actually Homura being stupid as well for not telling her what's going on. Now I'm gonna go red and disappear. Thank you. You try kill the boss for me, see ya. Homura, who the fuck is Orochi? What are you talking about? I feel like there's something you should have told me probably before Thanos snapping away. Alright. I'm falling. Deeper and deeper. I fall deeper into the abyss. The only time where having a black screen makes sense. Suddenly my entire body feels like it's been covered in something that feels like jelly. It feels like jelly donkey. I'm sinking, almost like I'm being slowly swallowed, like I'm being vored. Am I dead? No, that's not it. I'm inside of Orochi. An odor of absolute decay hits my nose. I tentatively open my eyes to a world of endless red. Oh, was this an image that we ever saw in the remake? I'm pretty sure it was like Orochi guts and stuff like that. This was a totally different image. I don't remember this in the remake at all. I tentatively opened my eyes to a world of endless red. Is this what Orochi's insides look like? My mind is fading. I can barely feel my body. Donkey. If this keeps up, I'll be completely absorbed. So, it's like 7 S's before that. I thrust my sword through the barrier of flesh. Blood spurts from the pulsating arteries. I use my sword to keep my balance, and suddenly a roaring noise comes out of nowhere, so loud that it's hurting my ears. In response to the rumbling voice, the flesh surrounding me begins limply moving. All I can do now is put my faith in Asuka, the person who I did not tell any of this to. No matter how much I struggle, I can't accomplish anything from in here. In the depths of my despair, I suddenly feel nostalgic. Oh. All of the different layouts for all the bosses. Yomi, Hikage, Mirai, Haruka. No doubt, I can sense them. They're alive. All 4 of them are alive. They're somewhere in Orochi's body. It's like Majin Buu. We gotta get them out of Majin Buu's body. I have to save them. Now. Strength flows back into my exhausted body. How can they be alive? And, like, didn't they vanish away into little, like, red pixie dust? And they just reformed inside here, I guess. But whatever. Shinobi magic. Strength flows back into my exhausted body. I was mired in despair, but an array of hope shone down on me. If I have my friends, I can stand, no matter how many times I'm knocked down. This is true power. Finally know what it means to be truly strong. I grip my sword tightly and face the source of that feeling. Alright. Let's go. You thought that was graphic? That's nothing. At least not for me, I didn't think that was that big of a deal. Alright, oh, we gotta fight NPCs? Oh god, and they got poison gas too. Alright, they took all of the regular enemies and they, made them red. I didn't realize that we had to, fight NPCs. I thought it would just be the bosses. Because in the remake, it's just the bosses and you don't fight more people in here. In fact, there's no stage. It's just a straight line. There's no actual stage in the remake. My god, the more I play of this game, the more I realize how much the remake fucked everything up and removed, like, the vast majority of what makes this game so cool. I like that they poof out of existence as well. You don't see them, like, fall over or anything. They just, like, kind of vanish. Man, there's an Orochi stage? They didn't bother to, like, include this part in the future version? Boy. The remake really does suck by comparison. Alright, let's go, 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 go. We need to take advantage of the fact that we haven't taken that much damage, so... Okay, we're just mowing them down. Are you saying the remake is bad? By comparison, if you compare it to Burst, especially running it on an emulator at 60 FPS and at a higher resolution, playing it on an Xbox controller, yeah. It takes away so much of what makes this game worth remaking, you know what I mean? There's so much, like, you know, animations and expressions and mannerisms and aerial ninja arts, animations for the ninja arts, like, you know, the stages, how they look, you know, the amount of enemies on screen, the kind of enemies, the enemy models, all the stuff that doesn't exist, the fact that all of the newer Gessen and new Hebijo girls were DLC, the fact that the new content, which was the backstory for Yumi and Miyabi, that's DLC as well. Not to mention the other DLC that already existed from previous games that you have to pay for again. It's like, shit. It's like, what a soulless cash grab. Bad on its own. It's impossible for me to talk about it on its own because it's a remake of an older game. Without Senran Kagura Burst, there is no Burst renewal. So it's impossible for me to look at it on its own merits. Because on its own merits is just a mod for Estival Versus. Somebody modded the Burst story on Estival Versus and that's it. And they took away half the cast and they charged you money for it. Don't try to judge it on its own merits because on its own merits it's even worse. I wasted 24... You can still enjoy it. You don't need my fucking permission to play the game and enjoy it. If you like it, that's fine. But, like... I played through all of Burst Renewal, and I enjoyed it at the time that I played it. But even back then, when I played it, I said that it felt empty. There was something that was missing. It didn't have the soul of the original. And at the time, my memory was hazy on the original. I was like, you know, like, it just doesn't feel like it has the same heart to it. It doesn't feel like the original, where the original kind of felt like it had something to prove, you know? And now that I'm playing the original now, I'm like, even down right here to the end, right, where they have this lengthy beat-em-up section with an original stage inside of Orochi's body and shit, and then comparing it to the finale in the remake that is just literally a straight line with nothing on it, and then just the boss battles. You know, there's so much that's special that just doesn't exist in the newer, nicer looking, like the graphics looking nicer is like, that's it. But everything else is just so botched and neutered and like cut and just not as good. But that's just my opinion. I want to insist, just because I'm shitting on the remake right now, that doesn't mean that you have to go and refund the game, or that you're not allowed to play it, or you're not allowed to like it. I'm just saying that, yeah, like, what about this little cinematic? That doesn't exist in the remake. You just, like, walk into this area, and that's kind of it. Also, the game froze. I can't advance. Hopefully, eventually, the game lets me. But, yeah, no, like, don't think that you wasted your money just because some other person on the internet doesn't think that it's, that the game is that good in retrospect. Because obviously when you get a new Senran game and you play it, you're gonna have that honeymoon phase where it's like, yeah, it's great. And I'm having fun now, right? So yeah, cool. But when you look at the finer details, and because it's a remake, you need to know how it compares to the original, right? And it compares very poorly. It compares very poorly. Is a perfect example of how like DLC and microtransactions and digital updates and stuff kind of have impacted the industry negatively, because now it has created this very unhealthy habit of like companies just putting out broken, half-finished games first, and then having to like beg their fans to be like, please buy the game, we're gonna fix it, we have a day one patch, we have DLC, we can do all of this stuff later. You know? I didn't mind Yumi and Miyabi's backstory. The Yumi's one was kind of stupid. It was pretty much like, it reframed Yumi to be like this, you know, pure, like, good guy. They kind of rewrote her to be like this pure, heroic figure that, like, never wanted to do anything wrong. And, like, Yozakura was, for some reason, like, the evil one that wanted to, like, be really extreme about everything. And, like, totally excluding all the other girls from the Gessen as well. I think the Yumi one was pretty damn stupid. It made Yumi a little worse, and it made Yozakura a little worse, too. Miyabi's one was actually pretty cool, because it just fits pretty well with what we saw in Shinobi Versus. The game is not continuing, by the way. It's not letting me move forward. We might not be able to finish this. OBS is currently active. Are you sure you wish to exit? No, I don't want to exit. What the hell's going on? Script file not found. What? Oh boy. I would have liked the DLC with how Ryoki died, and Riona and Ryobi thinking Miyabi killed her and swearing revenge. That's literally the Shinobi Versus story. I don't know why you want that as DLC. Nothing's happening. Is this like the ninja art thing? Is this, or like, it's a cinematic and like it don't... Oh boy. I am not in the mood for this shit. I am not in the mood for this shit. Let's go to the emulator then. Let's see, let's go look at the tabs. Help, movie? Record movie, frame advance. I don't even know what you would even have to do to be able to advance here. Like emulator-wise. Debugging? No. Or do we? Can we do debugging? But I don't even know how to move any of this. I feel like I'm just gonna break something if I do. Graphics debugger? No, this is not gonna help. I'm sure that people that have an advanced knowledge on Citra might be able to screw around with this and be able to bypass this. Like, you know, have something where you can, like, skip cinematics and stuff. But, like, I don't know any of this. So, I think I'd rather not fuck with it because then, I'm just gonna break something. My window is in not responding. So, yeah, it's probably gonna crash. It's probably gonna crash. You guys wonder why I won't download an emulator. Downloading emulators is not bad. There's nothing wrong with downloading an emulator. Don't think that it's like it has viruses or that they're inherently bad or anything. You know, games have to be optimized. Like this is why emulators get updates all the time, because the more they update, the more games become compatible. And it crashed. Great. You think that happened because I'm on an emulator? I mean, yeah, probably, but like it also has a lot to do with your settings, and that shouldn't like dissuade you from doing emulators because one little part of one game, like you're gonna look at that and say, oh, that's why I don't do emulators, even though like the other 99% of the game works. Are you the kind of guy that like shakes the hands of 100 people and that's a pleasant experience, and one guy slaps you in the face and you just think about that one guy and don't appreciate the other 99 people that were nice to you? All right, let's reboot it and see what happens. Okay, cool, but now now I can't. I'm just gonna get an original 3DS cartridge. Cool, that's fine. It's better for you to do that because you're directly supporting the game. I mean, I supported it too. I have it. Oh wait, also no, you probably can't because this game never came out physically. You have to buy it digitally. He's a mobile emulator just for Azure Lane. Yeah. Also, just because you're using an emulator, that doesn't mean that you're pirating the game. I'm playing this this game, and I own it. Like, I have Senran Kagura Burst. Emulation doesn't mean piracy. It doesn't mean pirate a game for free and play it on emulator. That is not what emulators are for. That's why Nintendo hasn't been able to shut down any of them, because emulators are not piracy machines. Also, I can't freaking capture the window anymore. Why? There we go. Okay, I guess I just have to do this. There we go. Alright. I sincerely doubt that I'm gonna be able to advance from where I was before. Maybe if I skip it. Maybe if I try to skip it, maybe it'll advance. Show filter bar. Report compatibility. Configure. Yeah, maybe if I try to do something with the configuration, I have no idea. Graphics. Post-processing shader, none. Texture filter. Anime. 4K ultra fast? Damn. Can I click on that now? No, actually no. I don't want it. I don't want it in 4K. Stereoscopic 3D. Use custom textures, dumb textures. No, that's for like other stuff. Controls. Web. Debug. UI. Alright. I don't know what I can do. Would I be supporting an evil company like Activision if I buy a game from them that's 20 years old? No. The game is probably not in circulation anymore, and it's very, very likely that you're not going that they're not going to see any money from that. If you're buying like an old ass CD from like a GameStop Like, that money's not going to Activision, I don't think. We have to fight Asuka again. I mean, that wasn't hard, it's fine. We can beat her fast. And then just skip the dialogue and, oh, the drag is gonna be, the fight, the beat 'em up fight inside Orochi. Alright, come on, come on, come on. Not exactly from them, as an old Activision game off of eBay. Well, they will definitely no money will come to them. It's not like Activision is contacting the random guy that sold his game on eBay and said, oh, you gotta give us 10% of that. That's not how it works. You should know this by now. I don't know how you don't know this. You're a smart man. You can use your brain and think that, hey, this random guy that I'm buying this game from on eBay is not gonna give anything to Activision. They're gonna get the money, not Activision. So if you're worried about that, then you can feel safe knowing that you can buy that copy of, like, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 on the PS1 and not feel guilty. Is there any new wave character that you like? I mean, it's very difficult to say that I like any of them because I don't really know anything about them. Even the ones that appear in New Link, like, you don't really know their backstory. There really aren't a lot of moments where you see them interacting with other characters. You don't really have their special moments and stuff. They're not really characters per se. I mean, I know that there's like Wikipedias and in New Wave there's like little like synopsises and like little story bits where you kind of get a basic gist of what they're all about, right? But like, we've never had like a full-on game like this one where you can kind of see them really flourish, right? Like, even characters like Ayame are barely anything. Because you only see them in PBS and a little bit in New Link, right? We need to see more of them. If I say that I like a character, it would have to be almost exclusively on their visual design. Just how they look or how hot I think they are or whatever. Because otherwise, if I said anything about like them as characters, it would be completely false. I wouldn't know what to tell you. I'm sure that if like Heavy was here, he'd be able to school me on it and tell me every single little bit of story for every single New Wave character, but I don't know it. And even then, it's not that much, you know? There's not a lot of detail. If I had to say that I liked any New Wave character, I'd probably say Ayame. Ayame, that's the character that I know about the most. And she's cute. And she's energetic, and she has a lot of the Katsuragi characteristics. I like, who's this other girl? Yoshimitsu? She's like an American stereotype in the Senran Kagura world, but she has like super long blonde hair, and she looks really pretty. She has like an interesting way of fighting. She's like a cheerleader, so she like fights with like electric pom-poms or whatever. I like everybody from the Archangels. Tsubaki, I think she looks good. I like Karasu, I think her name is. And then like the two twin characters, I think they look cool. And that's kind of it. I think Leo looks really cool. She looks like she has a lot of potential. Yuyaki's hot, but like, yeah. I'm kind of clueless when it comes to New Wave, so for me to say that I like any character would be on visuals alone. Call of Duty 2, one of the launch titles of the Xbox 360, then what the fuck are you so worried about? Just buy the fucking game. Who cares? Just buy it and enjoy it. What do you think of SMT5 so far? It's very, very good. I've been having a lot of fun with it. A lot of fun with it. And the game just kind of keeps getting better the more I play it. And you're dead. See ya. Wow. Perfectly timed there. Speaking of Yulin girls, I have my proposed German exchange student her weapon, shoulder-mounted shuriken guns, because Germany always had the best guns. Okay. Sabaki's cool. She is cool. She looks a lot like Ikariga. Maybe that's why I like her so much. She just looks like a different Ikariga. Leo and Yuyaki so far from what I've seen. Yeah, the designs are cool. Yuyaki got stuff to do and you're like, yeah, because there's like story stuff behind her. She has like this other... She has like this other character that she deals with, yeah. Yeah, they gave her more stuff to do, I know. I know that New Link has its whole story and stuff, but... language barrier. Alright, so as soon as that little, like, tree cutscene shows up, I'm gonna mash the start button so hard. I'm gonna try my best to, like, skip it, or move around, or just something. Do something where I can, like, avoid it, or move on, or something, cause, yeah, it just kinda gets stuck there, and I can't do anything after that. Rockstar Ikariga, kinda. Kinda, yeah. Boom. But yeah, all of the New Wave girls were cute. I just, you know... The reason for why I forget most of their names is because, you know, they're just not really characters quite yet. Ushimaru? Yeah, she looks cute too. Nachi looks nice. There, well, there we go, just annihilate him. There we go. Alright. It shouldn't be long now. Level up. There we go. Whoppa! 87, 89, 90, 91, 92. Alright, these guys are a little more bullet spongy, but we're good. There we go, yeah, they're not wasting my time. Well, I'm not wasting my own time, just like continuing to juggle them way after they're dead. Alright. Let's just press all the buttons and skip it if we can. Oh, please, let me move on, let me move on. Let me move on, please. The hell is this view? Nachi seems like a character I would like. Come on, Homura, fuck me. It just kind of stays frozen there. Nachi seems like a character that I would like. Yeah, she's cute. Misato's cute for a 30-year. She is cute. We're frozen here again. Well, it doesn't seem like we can move on past this point. Great. Awesome. Beautiful. Wonderful. Sensational. Fab. Okay. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for joining me on my Senran Kagura Burst playthrough. It was really fun. I can't believe that Homura was just stuck in the tree dimension for all of eternity. And she said, you know what, all of this fighting is tiring me out. I'm just gonna hang out here forever. And she just decided to chill here forever with Sonic and Mega Man and Kirby and all of her favorite Nintendo characters. Well, look. Let's look at it on the bright side. We gotta look at it on the bright side. And that's that, this isn't the only version that we can go for. In terms of, you know, playing Senran Kagura Burst. We can see the ending in a different way. Let me just, turn on Launchbox over here. And, let me go into the search bar. And just type up Senran Kagura. And then, I got a bunch of options here from all the games that I have on Steam. And I guess we can do, I guess we can do this other thing. The game is gonna go full screen, so I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to, like, put everything on windowed mode in a second. Hopefully that doesn't break the stream. Oh, is it windowed? Oh, but I'm stuck inside the window. I'm gonna have to, like, alt-tab out of this. Alright. Ever since I got Launchbox, I have defaulted every single one of my games to start up on full screen. And every single time I play a Steam game, I go to my options, say full screen, and just play it like that, and then pass the computer monitor feed over to my television, to my 4K TV, and just play everything in nice 1080p resolution, not even in 4K. My computer can't actually handle 4K. I tried playing Dragon Quest 11 in 4K, and it was at like 15 FPS. It was like really, really slow. But I brought it back down to 1080, and it can do 1080, 60 on pretty much everything just fine. There's a few games, like the bigger games, like Far Cry, like super big, heavy open world games. Those usually require me to play it on like 720 if I really want to play them at 60. Or sometimes even lower than that. It just depends on how modern and big the game is. There are obviously modern games that have come out in 2020, 2021 that obviously don't require that much resources. Sometimes it's like some retro game or something that's smaller, some indie game that's like pixel art based and stuff. Obviously doesn't require a lot of resources. I can obviously fucking blow that out to the highest resolution ever, right? But you know, stuff like PS3 emulators, Switch emulators, that's always a bit of a drag. Alright, I'm gonna have to alt-tab over to OBS because it doesn't let me click out of the goddamn window. Okay, we have an alternative here. I have a backup. Don't worry. I have myself a nice epic little backup. All I did was click on OBS and it gave me encoding overload. Hold on. Let's see. Marvelous. Is it not working? Do you guys not see it? Hopefully you can get the emulator problem solved. It's not about getting the problem solved. It's about one day getting like an update that'll fix it. You know, it's not a me thing. It would involve like a lot of research on the settings and how it works. God damn it, OBS, come on. I'm just trying to run a game here, and like everything is like just like pausing. Please. Everything is slowing down, and it has to catch up with everything that I'm doing.